Here is a paraphrased version of the script you provided, broken down by sentence to maintain the original meaning while changing the wording and structure. Original. My family ditched my wife's baby shower, then acted like it was no big deal. Paraphrased. My relatives failed to attend my wife's baby shower, then behaved as though their absence was insignificant. Original. So, I smiled, left their group chat, and canceled every payment I've been covering. Paraphrased. In response, I calmly exited our family group chat and discontinued all the financial support I had been providing. Original. Next morning, my sister called asking why we looked upset. Paraphrased. The following morning, my sister phoned and inquired why we seemed unhappy. Original. My voice shook even though I tried staying steady. Paraphrased. Despite my efforts to sound firm, my voice trembled as I spoke. Original. She actually laughed. Paraphrased. She found it amusing and chuckled. Original. Dude, you're being way too sensitive. Paraphrased. She dismissed my feelings by saying, "You're completely overreacting." Original. We honestly didn't think it was that important. Paraphrased. She claimed, "We genuinely didn't believe the event was of great importance." Original. I stood in our kitchen, one hand on my wife's belly, the other gripping my phone. Paraphrased. I was in our kitchen, with one hand resting on my wife's pregnant belly and the other tightly clutching my phone. Original. She's 34 weeks along, feet swollen, back killing her. Paraphrased. She was 34 weeks pregnant, suffering from swollen feet and severe back pain. Original. I'd spent the past month reminding these people twice about the date. Paraphrased. For the past month, I had repeatedly reminded them of the date on 2 separate occasions. Original. Every time it was, "Yeah, we'll work it out," or "Don't stress, bro. We got you." Paraphrased. Their consistent response was, "Yeah, we'll figure it out," or "Relax, man. We've got your back." Original. Turns out they didn't have us at all. Paraphrased. As it turned out, they didn't support us in the slightest. Original. I sent the registry myself. Paraphrased. I personally sent the gift registry to everyone. Original. Made invitations personally. Paraphrased. I created the invitations myself. Original. Double-check dates twice. Paraphrased. I confirmed the date on 2 separate occasions. Original. My voice got that weird calm tone when you've crossed some invisible line. Paraphrased. My voice took on that eerie, quiet quality that signals a breaking point has been reached. Original. Mom jumped in for background. Paraphrased. My mom chimed in from the background. Original. Honey, baby showers are usually for first kids. Paraphrased. She said, "Sweetheart, baby showers are typically held for first child." Original. This is her first kid, I said. Dead silence. Paraphrased. This is her first kid, I stated, which was met with complete silence. Original. Then my brother Max typed in the family chat. Paraphrased. Following that, my brother Max typed a message in our family group chat. Original. TBH, not really a huge deal, just a baby shower. Paraphrased, his message read, "To be honest, it's not a big deal, just a baby shower." Original. Like I hadn't paid his car insurance for 2 years. Paraphrased. This was coming from a person whose car insurance I had been paying for 2 years. Original. Like I hadn't covered mom's mortgage monthly, so she wouldn't lose the house. Paraphrased. This was coming from a person who seemingly forgot I had been making my mom's monthly mortgage payments to prevent her from losing her home. Original. Like I hadn't bought groceries for my sister when her boyfriend split. Paraphrased. This was coming from a person who ignored the fact that I had purchased my sister's groceries after her relationship ended. Original. Like I was nobody. Paraphrased. They were treating me as if I were a stranger. Original. I stared at those seeing indicators under my message. Paraphrased. I watched as the read notifications appeared under my last message. Original. Then I smiled, clicked 3 dots next to chat name, hit leave group. Paraphrased. I then smiled, pressed the 3 dots next to the chat's name, and selected the leave group option. Original. 2 minutes later, logged into my bank. Paraphrased. A couple of minutes later, I accessed my bank account online. Original, cancel AT&T payment. Paraphrased, I stopped the AT&T payment. Original, cancel auto transfer to mom's account. Paraphrased, I canceled the automatic transfer to my mom's account. Original, delete Venmo for sister's kids' dance classes. Paraphrased, I removed the Venmo account for my sister's children's dance lessons. Original, I didn't announce it. Paraphrased, I didn't make any sort of public declaration. Original, didn't write dramatic speeches. Paraphrased, I didn't write any grand, emotional messages. Original, just stopped. Paraphrased, I simply ceased all payments. Original, next morning, when Wi-Fi died at sister's place, when mom's phone cut off, when Max got booted from Netflix mid-episode, they freaked. Paraphrased, the next morning, they panicked when my sister's Wi-Fi stopped working, my mom's phone service was disconnected, and Max's Netflix account was suspended in the middle of a show. Original, I watched it unfold real time. Paraphrased, I observed their reactions as they happened. Original, sitting on our porch drinking coffee while wife napped and baby kicked gently. Paraphrased, I was on our porch, sipping coffee, while my wife slept peacefully and our baby kicked lightly. Original, first time in years I felt actual peace. Paraphrased, it was the first time in years that I experienced true tranquility. Original, to understand how we got here, you got to know I was always the responsible guy. Paraphrased, to comprehend our situation, you need to understand that I've always been the dependable one. Original, dependable brother. Paraphrased, the reliable brother. Original, the one with his act together. Paraphrased, the one who had his life in order. Original, got decent job out of college. Paraphrased, I secured a respectable job after graduating from college. Original, started saving early. Paraphrased, I began saving money at a young age. Original, bought our place at 29. Paraphrased, I purchased our home when I was 29. Original, meanwhile, Max crashed on couches building his podcast empire. Paraphrased, at the same time, Max was staying on other people's couches while attempting to build his podcasting career. Original, Jenny, my older sister, married young, divorced younger, never got back on her feet. Paraphrased, my older sister, Jenny, married at a young age, divorced even earlier, and has never been able to get back on her feet financially. Original, naturally, I became everyone's safety net. Paraphrased, it was only natural that I became their financial support system. Original, quietly, without direct asking because that's how they hook you. Paraphrased, this began subtly, without anyone directly asking for help, which is how they draw you in. Original, started small. Paraphrased, it began with small requests. Original, can you cover mom's gas bill? Her pension check got delayed. Paraphrased, they'd ask, could you pay for mom's gas bill? Her pension check was late. Original, Jenny's behind on rent. Paraphrased, they'd say, Jenny is late on her rent. Original, little Sarah needs dance shoes. Paraphrased, they'd mention, little Sarah needs new dance shoes. Original, you know how talented she is. Paraphrased, they'd add, you know how gifted she is. Original, every time I said yes, not because I had money flowing, but because they seemed desperate. Paraphrased, I agreed every time, not because I was wealthy, but because they appeared to be in dire need. Original, they call me an angel, a rock, family glue. Paraphrased, they would refer to me as an angel, a rock, or the family glue. Original, I ate that up like an idiot. Paraphrased, like a fool, I believed their flattery. Original, thought that's what love looked like. Paraphrased, I mistakenly believed that this was the definition of love. Original, but gradually gratitude vanished. Paraphrased, over time, however, their thankfulness faded away. Original, got replaced with expectation, then entitlement. Paraphrased, their gratitude was replaced by expectation, which eventually turned into a sense of entitlement. Original, Jenny stopped saying thanks. Paraphrased, Jenny no longer expressed her thanks. Original, She'd Venmo request $85 with notes like Kelly's medicine while posting $60 gel manicure same day. Paraphrased, she'd send a Venmo request for $85 with a note like Kelly's medicine on the same day she posted pictures of a $60 gel manicure on social media. Original, Max didn't pretend anymore. Paraphrased, Max didn't even bother to feign politeness anymore. Original, once texted, yo, rinse due. Paraphrased, he once texted me, yo, the rent's due. Original, handle it. Paraphrased, and then added, take care of it. Original, and I did. Paraphrased, and I would. Original, mom started saying garbage like, you're so blessed, sweetie. God gave you that job to help others. Paraphrased, my mom began to say insulting things like, you're so fortunate, dear. God blessed you with that job so you could help others. Original, like, my success existed to fund their failures. Paraphrased, it was as if my achievements were only meant to finance their shortcomings. Original, by time wife got pregnant, I'd paid Jenny's rent 11 straight months. Paraphrased, by the time my wife became pregnant, I had paid Jenny's rent for 11 consecutive months. Original, Max's phone, gym, Spotify, mom's utilities, Sarah's school stuff, even $200 cam deposit. Paraphrased, I had also been paying for Max's phone, gym, and Spotify, as well as my mom's utilities, Sarah's school supplies, and even a $200 camp deposit. Original, stop counting after 18 grand. Paraphrased, I lost track of the total after it exceeded $18,000. Original, when we announced pregnancy, they smiled, said, congrats. Paraphrased, when we told them about the pregnancy, they smiled and said, congratulations. Original, but something shifted like I disturbed family ecosystem by wanting something for myself. Paraphrased, but something fell off. It was as if I had disrupted the family's balance by wanting something for my own life. Original, should have known when nobody offered hosting a shower. Paraphrased, I should have realized it then, when no one offered to host a baby shower for us. Original, we're swamped, Jenny said. Paraphrased, Jenny said, we're so busy. Original, you'll do something chill, right? Paraphrased, she added, you're just going to do something low-key, right? Original, Max didn't acknowledge it. Paraphrased, Max didn't even acknowledge the news. Original, mom suggested Facebook post instead of whole party. Paraphrased, my mom recommended just making a Facebook post instead of having an actual party. Original, I bought pastel decorations myself. Paraphrased, I purchased pastel color decorations on my own. Original, made Amazon registry, diapers, bottles, crib. Paraphrased, I created an Amazon registry with items like diapers, bottles, and a crib. Original, asked buddy Mike about his backyard. Paraphrased, I asked my friend Mike if we could use his backyard. Original, he said absolutely. Paraphrased, he immediately agreed. Original, send invite in family chat, not single RSVP. Paraphrased, I sent the invitation in the family group chat and not a single person replied. Original, weeks passed, date crept closer. Paraphrased, the weeks went by and the date of the event drew nearer. Original, I followed up. Paraphrased, I sent a follow-up message. Original, hey, just making sure you saw shower invite. Paraphrased, I wrote, hey, I just wanted to confirm that you saw the baby shower invitation. Original, Jenny replied, thumbs up emoji. Paraphrased, Jenny responded with a thumbs up emoji. Original, Max left me on read. Paraphrased, Max read the message, but didn't reply. Original, Mom finally will see. Paraphrased, my mom eventually replied, we'll see. Original, weekend's pretty hectic. Paraphrased, she explained, that weekend is quite busy. Original, that weekend, they were all at Cousin Anna's shower. Paraphrased, on that same weekend, they all attended my Cousin Anna's baby shower. Original, her third kid, full catered spread, coordinated outfits, balloons taller than toddlers. Paraphrased, it was for her third child, and there was a full catered buffet, matching outfits, and balloons taller than young children. Original, whole family showed. Paraphrased, the entire family was there. Original, we weren't invited. Paraphrased, my wife and I were not invited. Original, saw photos on Instagram. Paraphrased, I saw pictures of the event on Instagram. Original, mom beaming beside Anna's cake. Paraphrased, my mom was smiling radiantly next to Anna's cake. Original, Jenny taking selfies. Paraphrased, Jenny was taking selfies. Original, Max posted party reel. Paraphrased, Max posted a video reel of the party. Original, family over everything. Paraphrased, he captioned it, family over everything. Original, that night I didn't cry or scream. Paraphrased, I didn't cry or yell that night. Original, sat on bedroom floor rubbing wife's belly. Paraphrased, I sat on the bedroom floor, gently rubbing my wife's belly. Original, realized crucial thing. Paraphrased, I came to a profound realization. Original, they weren't just absent. Paraphrased, their absence was not accidental. Original, making statement. Paraphrased, they were making a statement. Original, our baby didn't matter. Paraphrased, our baby was unimportant to them. Original, we didn't matter. Paraphrased, we were insignificant. Original, yet they expected me paying everything. Paraphrased, and yet they still expected me to pay for everything. Original, day after party, Jenny requested $180 for Sarah's project. Paraphrased, the day after the party, Jenny sent me a request for $180 for Sarah's school project. Original, Max texted mom's phone off. Paraphrased, Max texted me, mom's phone is off. Original, fix it. Paraphrased, and commanded, fix it. Original, real shift happened inside me. Paraphrased, a fundamental change occurred within me. Original, didn't reply. Paraphrased, I didn't respond to them. Original, opened family chat. Paraphrased, I opened the family group chat. Original, wrote one sentence. Paraphrased, I typed a single sentence. Original, thanks for making clear where we stand. Paraphrased, thank you for clarifying where we stand. Original, left chat. Paraphrased, then I left the conversation. Original, began dismantling their financial scaffolding. Paraphrased, I began to systematically dismantle their financial support system. Original, didn't expect how loud consequences would get. Paraphrased, I hadn't anticipated how significant the fallout would be. Original, next morning, Max blew up my phone. Paraphrased, the next morning, Max's calls and texts flooded my phone. Original, what's going on? Wi-Fi's down. Paraphrased, he demanded, what's happening? The Wi-Fi is not working. Original, Netflix too. You cancel Spotify. Paraphrased, he complained, Netflix isn't working either. Did you cancel Spotify? Original, then Jenny. Paraphrased, then my sister, Jenny, called. Original, why is internet off? Sarah has school Zoom. Paraphrased, she asked, why is the internet off? Sarah has a school Zoom meeting. Original, she's freaking fix it. Paraphrased, she's panicking. Fix it immediately. Original, did you cancel Target cart? Paraphrased, she also asked, did you cancel my Target online order? Original, he had cart full groceries. Paraphrased, he had a shopping cart full of groceries. Original, mom called. Paraphrased, my mom called me. Original, left voicemail in disappointed teacher voice. Paraphrased, she left a voicemail using the tone of a disappointed teacher. Original, this behavior is concerning. Paraphrased, your behavior is worrisome. Original, we're family. Paraphrased, we are a family. Original, you don't punish people you love. Paraphrased, you are not supposed to punish the people you love. Original, didn't respond to any. Paraphrased, I didn't reply to a single one of them. Original, didn't owe explanations. Paraphrased, I didn't feel obligated to explain myself. Original, let them sit in silence. Paraphrased, I allowed them to experience the silence. Original, feel the vacuum I used to fill. Paraphrased, I let them feel the void I had always filled for them. Original, that evening, sat on couch with warm tea. Paraphrased, that night, I sat on the couch, drinking a cup of warm tea. Original, baby kicking under wife's ribs. Paraphrased, our baby was kicking under my wife's ribs. Original, smile, because for once they were scrambling. Paraphrased, I smiled because for the first time, they were the ones in distress. Original, I was finally free. Paraphrased, I was finally liberated. Original, 2 days later, phone rang. Paraphrased, 2 days after that, my phone rang. Original, Mom, obviously we're coming over tonight. Paraphrased, it was my mom who said, we're obviously coming over tonight. Original, all of us need to talk. Paraphrased, all of us need to have a conversation. Original, not how are you. Paraphrased, she didn't bother to ask how I was doing. Original, just need to talk. Paraphrased, her only concern was to talk. Original, could hear her speeches. Paraphrased, I could tell they had prepared what they were going to say. Original, they weren't coming to talk. Paraphrased, they weren't coming over for an actual discussion. Original, coming to ambush. Paraphrased, they were coming to confront me. Original, first time in my life. Paraphrased, for the first time in my life. Original, I was ready. Paraphrased, I felt prepared for it. Original, 6:04 p.m. They arrived like hurricane. Paraphrased, at 6:04 p.m., they stormed in like a hurricane. Original, Mom marched in without eye contact. Paraphrased, my mom walked in without looking at me. Original, Jenny tossed purse like it offended her. Paraphrased, Jenny threw her purse on the floor as if it had insulted her. Original, Max slouched in hoodie, pretending casual, but tension showed. Paraphrased, Max hunched over in his hoodie, trying to appear nonchalant, but his tension was obvious. Original, didn't ask to sit, just took over living room like they owned it. Paraphrased, they didn't ask for permission to sit down. They just made themselves at home, as if they owned the place. Original, let's cut to chase, Mom said, arms crossed. Paraphrased, my mom said, let's get straight to the point, while crossing her arms. Original, this silent treatment, canceling payments, childish. Paraphrased, this silent treatment and canceling all the payments is immature. Original, we're shocked. Shocked. Paraphrased, she declared, we are completely shocked by your behavior. Original, I stopped paying for everything. Paraphrased, I stopped paying for everything? I asked. Original, I asked. Paraphrased, I posed the question. Original, Max leaned forward. Paraphrased, Max leaned closer. Original, yes, seriously. Wi-Fi soft. Paraphrased, he confirmed, yes, seriously. The Wi-Fi is not working. Original, Netflix won't load. Paraphrased, Netflix won't load. Original, gym app says suspended. Paraphrased, my gym app says my account is suspended. Original, you cancel everything on purpose. Paraphrased, you intentionally canceled everything. Original, I smiled coldly. Paraphrased, I gave a cold smile. Original, yes, Max. That was exactly the idea. Paraphrased, that was precisely my intention, Max. Original, Jenny snorted. Paraphrased, Jenny let out a derisive snort. Original, still hung up on that shower. Paraphrased, she said, you're still upset about that baby shower. Original, it's just party. Paraphrased, it was just a party. Original, get over it. Paraphrased, you need to move on. Original, I stood slowly, hand on wife's belly. Paraphrased, I slowly stood up, placing my hand on my wife's belly. Original, not about party, about fact. Paraphrased, this isn't about the party, it's about the fact that. Original, I'm becoming father. Paraphrased, I am becoming a father. Original, An entire family decided not worth showing up. Paraphrased. And my entire family decided we weren't worth showing up for. Original. Not one RSVP. Paraphrased. Not a single one of you even RSVP. Original. Mom raised hand like judge. Paraphrased. My mom raised her hand as if she were a judge. Original. Didn't mean anything. Paraphrased. She insisted. It didn't mean anything by it. Original. Figure showers are for first babies. Paraphrased. We thought baby showers were for first babies. Original. This is her first, I said sharply. Paraphrased. This is her first, I stated sharply. Original. Nobody spoke. Paraphrased. Everyone fell silent. Original. You didn't forget. Paraphrased. You didn't just forget. Original. Made choice. Paraphrased. You made a conscious choice. Original. Showed up in a shower. Paraphrased. You showed up at another baby's shower. Original. Balloons, buffet, matching outfits. Paraphrased. There were balloons, a buffet, and matching outfits. Original. Ignored ours. Paraphrased. And you deliberately ignored ours. Original. 2 days later, Jenny sends Venmo request. Paraphrased. 2 days later, Jenny sent me a Venmo request. Original. Max asks, fix mom's phone. Paraphrased. Max asked me to fix mom's phone. Original. Sister rolled eyes. Paraphrased. My sister rolled her eyes at me. Original. Don't act victim. Paraphrased. Stop acting like a victim. Original. You've always been generous. Paraphrased. You've always been so generous. Original. Want medal for helping? Paraphrased. Do you want an award for helping us? Original. That was it. Paraphrased. That was the final straw. Original. I laughed, not nice laugh. Paraphrased. I let out a laugh, but it was not a pleasant one. Original. Kind that comes when you've snapped. Paraphrased. It was the kind of laugh that happens when you've reached your breaking point. Original. So, hard pieces can't go back. Paraphrased. A laugh so hard that it's impossible to put the broken pieces back together. Original. Let's talk about generosity. Paraphrased. Let's talk about my generosity. Original. Paid your rent 11 months. Paraphrased. I paid your rent for 11 straight months. Original. Jenny covered Sarah's dance, school supplies, camp while you posted $60 nails and brunches on Instagram. Paraphrased. Jenny, I covered Sarah's dance classes, school supplies, and camp while you were posting pictures of $60 manicures and brunches on Instagram. Original. Jenny flushed red, stayed quiet, and Max paid your phone, gym, Spotify, Uber. Paraphrased. Jenny's face turned red and she remained silent. And Max, I paid for your phone, gym membership, Spotify, and even your Uber rides. Original. Once texted yo, rinse due. Paraphrased. You once texted me, yo, the rent's due. Original. Handle it like I was ATM, not brother. Paraphrased. You treated me like an ATM, not your brother. Original. Mom jumped in, making this bigger than needed. Paraphrased. My mom interrupted, saying, you're making this into a bigger deal than it needs to be. Original. We're family. Paraphrased. We are family. Original. Thought we could count on you. Paraphrased. We thought we could always rely on you. Original. No, I said flatly. Paraphrased. No, I said, my voice completely devoid of emotion. Original. Thought you could use me. Paraphrased. You thought you could take advantage of me. Original. Did for years. Paraphrased. And you have for years. Original. Max scoffed. Paraphrased. Max sneered in response. Original. What you want? Paraphrased. What do you want? Original. Standing ovation. Paraphrased. A standing ovation? Original. Made good money. Paraphrased. You make good money. Original. Helped out. Big deal. Paraphrased. So you helped us out. It's not a big deal. Original. Doesn't make you better. Paraphrased. That doesn't make you a better person. Original. I leaned in. Paraphrased. I leaned in closer to him. Original, makes me tired. Paraphrased, it makes me exhausted. Original, makes me done. Paraphrased, and it makes me done with all of you. Original, bent backward for this family. Paraphrased, I have gone to great lengths for this family. Original, first time I needed something. Paraphrased, and the first time I needed something from you. Original, one small kindness. Paraphrased, just one small act of kindness. Original, couldn't pretend to care. Paraphrased, you couldn't even pretend to care. Original, Jenny stood hands on hips. Paraphrased, Jenny stood with her hands on her hips. Original, so dramatic. Paraphrased, you're being so dramatic. Original, want us crying? Paraphrased, do you want us to cry? Original, throw pity party. Paraphrased, you're throwing a pity party. Original, grow up. Paraphrased, grow up. Original, then cousin Lisa sitting quietly stood up. Paraphrased, then my cousin Lisa, who had been sitting silently, stood up. Original, I was on your side, but this is disgusting. Paraphrased, I was on your side, but this is revolting. Original, you all act like he's 18. Paraphrased, you all treat him like an ATM. Original, treat him garbage when he sets boundary. Paraphrased, you treat him terribly when he sets a boundary. Original, everyone stared. Paraphrased, everyone in the room stared at her. Original, stay out, Lisa. Paraphrased, my mom snapped, stay out of this, Lisa. Original, no, I'm in this because I see how you treated him. Paraphrased, no, I am in this because I have seen how you've treated him. Original, don't want part of family that punishes someone for growing backbone. Paraphrased, I don't want to be a part of a family that punishes someone for finally standing up for themselves. Original, Lisa grabbed purse, walked out. Paraphrased, Lisa grabbed her purse and left. Original, room fell silent. Paraphrased, a heavy silence fell over the room. Original, mom turned back, face twisted with guilt and anger. Paraphrased, my mom turned back to me, her face a mix of guilt and rage. Original, think about baby. Paraphrased, think about the baby. Original, she needs family. Paraphrased, she needs a family. Original, really? Paraphrased, oh, really? Original, raising her alone without us. Paraphrased, you'll be raising her alone without us. Original, I looked mother dead in eye. Paraphrased, I looked my mother directly in the eye. Original, better alone than surrounded by people who only love me when useful. Paraphrased, it's better to be alone than to be surrounded by people who only love me when I am useful to them. Original, they left like funeral procession. Paraphrased, they left my house, walking out slowly as if they were in a funeral procession. Original, no door slamming. Paraphrased, there was no slamming of doors. Original, no screaming. Paraphrased, there was no screaming. Original, storm passed. Paraphrased, the storm had passed. Original, wreckage everywhere. Paraphrased, the wreckage of what was once a family was all around. Original, that night stood in kitchen, lights off, holding tea against wife's belly. Paraphrased, that night, I stood in the darkened kitchen, holding a cup of tea against my wife's belly. Original, baby rolled once settled. Paraphrased, the baby rolled over and then settled down. Original, silence felt like oxygen, like freedom. Paraphrased, the silence felt like a breath of fresh air and a sense of liberation. Original, first time in years. Paraphrased, for the first time in many years. Original, didn't feel guilty. Paraphrased, I didn't feel any guilt. Original, not for saying no. Paraphrased, I didn't feel guilty for saying no. Original, walking away being selfish because I wasn't. Paraphrased, I knew that walking away wasn't a selfish act because I wasn't being selfish at all. Original, days following were chaos, but not mine anymore. Paraphrased, the following days were chaotic, but it was no longer my chaos to manage. Original. Day 1, complete silence. Paraphrased. On the first day, there was complete silence from them. Original. No text calls. Paraphrased. No texts or calls. Original. Max posted passive-aggressive Instagram. Paraphrased. Max posted a passive-aggressive message on his Instagram account. Original. When people turn back on blood, don't be surprised when they drown alone. Paraphrased. When people turn their backs on their own family, don't be surprised when they end up drowning alone. Original. Jenny reshares with broken hearts. Paraphrased. Jenny reshared his post with a broken heart emoji. Original. Didn't react. Paraphrased. I did not react to it. Original. They wanted attention. Paraphrased. They were seeking attention. Original. Weren't getting mine. Paraphrased. But they weren't going to get it from me. Original. Day 3, guilt phase. Paraphrased. On the third day, the guilt phase began. Original. Mom texted, "Can we talk?" Paraphrased. My mom texted me, asking, "Can we talk?" Original. Didn't respond. Paraphrased. I didn't respond. Original. Didn't realize how hurt you were, but doesn't mean cut us off. Paraphrased. She texted again. I didn't realize how much we had hurt you, but that doesn't mean you should cut us off completely. Original. Still nothing. Paraphrased. Still. I remained silent. Original. Third message. Paraphrased. A third message came through. Original. Bills stacking. Paraphrased. The bills are stacking up. Original. Sister can't afford Sarah's trip. Paraphrased. Your sister can't afford to pay for Sarah's school trip. Original. Max might lose gym. Paraphrased. Max might lose his gym membership. Original. My silence was expensive. Paraphrased. My silence was proving to be costly for them. Original. They were realizing it. Paraphrased. They were finally realizing the consequences of my actions. Original. Day 5. Panic mode. Paraphrased. On the 5th day, they went into full-blown panic mode. Original. Jenny called 5 times 1 hour. Paraphrased. Jenny called me 5 times in a single hour. Original. Left voicemail. Paraphrased. She left a voicemail. Original. Voice shaking with rage. Paraphrased. Her voice was shaking with anger. Original. Major point. Paraphrased. I'm going to get to the point. Original. Happy Sarah's devastated mom crying nightly. Paraphrased. Sarah is devastated, and I'm crying every night. Original. Max snapping at everyone. Paraphrased. Max is snapping at everyone. Original. You broke family over stupid party. Paraphrased. You tore this family apart over a stupid party. Original. Listen full message deleted without word. Paraphrased. I listened to the entire message and then deleted it without a response. Original. Got message that stopped me cold. Paraphrased. I received a text that completely stunned me. Original. Lisa texted moved out parents' place. Paraphrased. It was from Lisa, and she said she had moved out of her parents' house. Original. Realize how toxic after what I saw. Paraphrased. I realized how toxic everything was after seeing what you went through. Original. Thank you for standing up. Paraphrased. Thank you for standing up for yourself. Original. Help me see clearly. Paraphrased. You helped me see things clearly. Original. Stare at screen, throat tight. Paraphrased. I stare at the screen, and my throat tightened with emotion. Original. One by one falling apart. Paraphrased. They were all falling apart, one by one. Original. Somehow I was coming together. Paraphrased. Yet, in a strange way, I was finally coming together. Original. Day 7. Unexpected visitor. Paraphrased. On the 7th day, an unexpected visitor arrived. Original. Kevin. Jenny's ex Sarah's dad hadn't spoken months, but there he was with boxed baby clothes. Paraphrased. It was Kevin, Jenny's ex and Sarah's father, who I hadn't spoken to in months, and he was standing there with a box of baby clothes. Original. I heard, he said simply. Paraphrased. I heard what happened, he said simply. Original, Sarah told everything. Paraphrased. Sarah told me everything. Original, she's not okay. Paraphrased. She's not doing well. Original, you were only one who truly cared about her future. Paraphrased. You were the only one who genuinely cared about her future. Original, these for me and Sarah. Paraphrased. These are from me and Sarah. Original, she picked onesies. Paraphrased. She picked out the onesies. Original, bit lip tears threatened. Paraphrased. I bit my lip to hold back the tears. Original, thank you, I whispered. Paraphrased. I whispered, thank you. Original, Kevin looked long time. Paraphrased. Kevin looked at me for a long time. Original, said unexpected thing. Paraphrased. He said something I didn't expect. Original, if you need anything, really anything, I'm here. Paraphrased. If you need anything at all, I'm here for you. Original, Jenny's not doing well. Paraphrased. Jenny is not doing well. Original, spiraling. Paraphrased. She's in a downward spiral. Original, lost job last week. Paraphrased. She lost her job last week. Original, blamed HR. Paraphrased. She blamed it on human resources. Original, think deep down she knows it's not them. Paraphrased. I think, deep down, she knows it's not their fault. Original, it's her. Paraphrased. It's her fault. Original, said nothing. Paraphrased. I didn't say anything. Original, didn't feel joy or revenge. Paraphrased. I didn't feel a sense of happiness or a need for revenge. Original, felt release. Paraphrased. I felt a sense of relief. Original, they were facing consequences. Paraphrased. They were finally facing the consequences of their actions. Original, I didn't lift finger. Paraphrased. And I didn't have to do a single thing. Original, 2 weeks later, complete collapse. Paraphrased. 2 weeks later, they had completely collapsed. Original, mom call. Paraphrased. My mom called me. Original, let it ring. Paraphrased. I let the phone ring. Original, left voicemail. Paraphrased. She left a voicemail. Original, brother's behind rent. Paraphrased. Your brother is behind on his rent. Original, Jenny's car towed. Paraphrased. Jenny's car was towed. Original, can't get Sarah into recital. Paraphrased. She can't afford to get Sarah into her recital. Original, don't know what to do. Paraphrased. I don't know what we're going to do. Original, paused.
Paraphrased. She paused.
Original, please tell me what we did wrong. Paraphrased. Please tell me what we did wrong. Original, why doing this to us? Paraphrased. Why are you doing this to us? Original, listen carefully. Paraphrased. I listened closely. Original, played again. Paraphrased. I played it a second time. Original, deleted. Paraphrased. Then I deleted it. Original, because I wasn't doing anything to them. Paraphrased. The reason I deleted it was that I wasn't doing anything to them. Original, they did it themselves. Paraphrased. They were doing this to themselves. Original, got card and mail. Paraphrased. A card arrived in mail. Original, no return address. Paraphrased. It didn't have a return address. Original, note and awkward handwriting. Paraphrased. The note was written in clumsy handwriting. Original, I miss you. Paraphrased. I miss you. Original, Mom says you're mad forever, but remember pancakes and school play. Paraphrased. Mom says you're going to be mad forever, but I remember when we had pancakes and when you came to my school play. Original, hope baby is nice. Paraphrased. I hope your baby is nice. Original, love Sarah. Paraphrased. Love Sarah. Original, sat floor holding card to chest. Paraphrased. I sat on the floor, holding the card tightly against my chest. Original, cried harder than months. Paraphrased. I cried harder than I had in months. Original, not because regretted choice, but Sarah was only innocent one. Paraphrased. It wasn't because I regretted my decision, but because Sarah was the only innocent person in the entire situation. Original, final blow 3 weeks later. Paraphrased. The final blow came 3 weeks later. Original, unknown number message. Paraphrased. I received a message from an unknown number. Original, Jenny tone different. Quiet, broken, messed up, ruined everything. Paraphrased. The tone was different. It was quiet and broken, and it said, I messed up and ruined everything. Original. You were only one who really helped. Paraphrased. You were the only one who ever truly helped me. Original. No, I said things can't take back, but sorry. Paraphrased. She added, I said things I can't take back, but I'm sorry. Original. No manipulation, no guilt, just honesty. Paraphrased. There was no manipulation, no guilt tripping, just pure honesty. Original. Too late. Paraphrased. It's too late. Original. Didn't reply because finally understood. Paraphrased. I didn't reply because I finally understood something important. Original. Forgiveness is choice, especially when damage still bleeding. Paraphrased. Forgiveness is a choice, especially when the wounds are still fresh and bleeding. Original. Weeks following world felt lighter. Paraphrased. In the weeks that followed, the world felt lighter. Original. Registry that had 2 items claimed suddenly got anonymous gifts. Paraphrased. My baby registry, which had only had 2 items purchased, was suddenly filled with gifts from anonymous donors. Original. Diapers, onesies, monitor. Paraphrased. Diapers, onesies, and a baby monitor arrived at my house. Original. Mike threw late shower with 6 people was perfect. Paraphrased. My friend Mike threw a late baby shower with only 6 people, and it was perfect. Original. No fake smiles, just people who showed up. Paraphrased. There were no fake smiles, just people who genuinely cared and showed up for us. Original. Me started feeling human again. Paraphrased. I started to feel like a person again. Original. Not bank account, not safety net, just me. Paraphrased. I wasn't an ATM or a safety net. I was just me. Original. Soon-to-be father, whole on own terms. Paraphrased. I was a soon-to-be father who was finally whole on his own terms. Original. 8 weeks since walked out family's life. Paraphrased. It had been 8 weeks since I had walked out of my family's life. Original. No. Since walked out role they assigned bank savior punching bag, twist nobody saw. Paraphrased. No. It had been 8 weeks since I walked out of the role they had assigned me. Their financial savior and punching bag. It was a twist no one saw coming. Original. I'm not falling apart. Paraphrased. I wasn't falling apart. Original. I'm thriving. Paraphrased. I was thriving. Original. Wake now without weight on chest. Paraphrased. I now wake up in the morning without a heavy weight on my chest. Original. No buzzing phone with guilt texts. Paraphrased. My phone isn't buzzing with texts filled with guilt-tripping messages. Original. No mental spreadsheets about who needs what covered. Paraphrased. I no longer have to keep a mental spreadsheet of who needs what paid for. Original. Just me wife. Baby bump. Paraphrased. It's just me, my wife, and our baby bump. Original. Sense of peace never thought I'd taste. Paraphrased. I have a sense of peace that I never thought I would experience. Original. Strange living in silence after years obligation. Paraphrased. It feels strange to live in silence after so many years of obligation. Original. Kept waiting for guilt. Paraphrased. I kept waiting for the guilt to set in. Original. That voice saying maybe too harsh could have handled better. Paraphrased. I was waiting for that voice to say, maybe you were too harsh, or you could have handled this better. Original. Never came because truth is handled perfectly. Paraphrased. But that voice never came because the truth is, I handled it perfectly. Original. Told truth. Drew line. Watched as they proved exactly why line had to exist. Paraphrased. I spoke my truth, drew a line, and watch them prove exactly why that line needed to exist in the first place. Original, Jenny tries now and then sends vague messages like, hope you're okay. Paraphrased. Jenny still tries to contact me now and then, sending vague messages like, I hope you're okay. Original, or Sarah misses you, but don't reply. Paraphrased. Or Sarah misses you.
But I don't reply.
Original, don't punish her. Paraphrased. I'm not punishing her. Original, don't block. Paraphrased. I haven't blocked her. Original, just don't engage. Paraphrased. I simply don't engage with her messages. Original, learn something they never want to be knowing. Paraphrased. I learned something that they never wanted to admit. Original, not responding is response. Paraphrased. Not responding is a response in itself. Original, silence has power. Paraphrased. Silence is powerful. Original, boundaries aren't cruelty, they're survival. Paraphrased. Setting boundaries isn't cruel, it's a matter of survival. Original, Max has gone full victim online. Paraphrased. Max has fully embraced the victim role online. Original, made thread about fake family and how money changes people. Paraphrased. He made a post about fake family and how money changes people. Original, got 2 likes. Paraphrased. It only received 2 likes. Original, Jenny mom didn't laugh. Paraphrased. Jenny and my mom didn't even like it. Original, pitted him without me. Paraphrased. He was pitted against them without my help. Original, he's faced himself. Paraphrased. He's been forced to confront who he is. Original, scariest mirror he'll stand in front of. Paraphrased. It is the most terrifying reflection he will ever have to face. Original, mom stopped calling altogether. Paraphrased. My mom has stopped calling me completely. Original, finally understood I'm not coming back. Paraphrased. She finally understood that I'm not coming back. Original, not to group chat their table. Paraphrased. Not to the family group chat or to their table. Original, unspoken contract saying I owe them for being born. Paraphrased. Not to the unspoken contract that said I owed them for being born. Original, funny, isn't it? Paraphrased. It's ironic, isn't it? Original, raised me believing I was selfish one. Paraphrased. They raised me to believe that I was the selfish one. Original, when money stopped, so did their love. Paraphrased. But when the money stopped, so did their love. Original, makes you think. Paraphrased. It really makes you think. Original, started building own family version. Paraphrased. I started to build my own version of a family. Original, Mike comes twice weekly. Paraphrased. My friend Mike comes over twice a week. Original, helps prep nursery. Paraphrased. He helps me get the nursery ready for the baby. Original, Lisa texts daily. Paraphrased. Lisa texts me every day. Original, checking in. Paraphrased. She texts me to check in. Original, sends memes, baby names, water reminders. Paraphrased. She sends me memes, baby names, and reminders to drink water. Original, Kevin brought Sarah's stuffed animal case. Paraphrased. Kevin brought over a stuffed animal case for Sarah. Original, baby likes it. Paraphrased. The baby seems to like it. Original, said Sarah's idea. Paraphrased. He said it was Sarah's idea. Original, believe him. Paraphrased. And I believe him. Original, me? Still me, but more whole, more honest, more mine. Paraphrased. As for me, I am still the same person, but I am more whole, more honest, and more myself than I've ever been. Original, other night stood middle nursery. Paraphrased. The other night, I stood in the middle of the nursery. Original, crib built, mobile, spinning, soft clouds, sleepy moons, light, warm, golden. Paraphrased. The crib was built, the mobile was spinning, and soft clouds and sleepy moons were illuminated by the warm, golden light. Original, first time entire life. Paraphrased. For the first time in my entire life. Original, felt something wild. Paraphrased. I felt something wild. Original, felt safe. Paraphrased. I felt safe. Original. Not because someone promised protection. Paraphrased. Not because someone had promised to protect me. Original. Not because had backup. Paraphrased. Not because I had a backup plan. Original. Because had myself walked through fire. Paraphrased. But because I had walked through the fire and survived. Original. Been told too much. Paraphrased. I'd been told I was too much for a long time. Original. Too selfish. Paraphrased. I'd been called too selfish. Original. Too cold. Paraphrased. I'd been called too cold. Original. Been used. Paraphrased. I'd been used. Original. Guilt. Paraphrased. I'd been made to feel guilty. Original. Tripped. Paraphrased. I'd been tripped up. Original. Survived. Paraphrased. But I survived. Original. Better yet, stopped apologizing for it. Paraphrased. Even better, I stopped apologizing for it. Original. If daughter asks about family someday, tell truth. Paraphrased. If my daughter ever asks about my family one day, I will tell her the truth. Original. Blood isn't always love. Paraphrased. Blood isn't always love. Original. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-destruction. Paraphrased. Kindness without boundaries can destroy you. Original. Being strong doesn't mean being sacrificial. Paraphrased. Being strong doesn't mean you have to be a sacrificial lamb. Original. Lamb. Paraphrased. A sacrificial lamb. Original. Tell her this. Paraphrased. I will tell her this. Original. Never required setting yourself on fire. Paraphrased. You are never required to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Original. Keeping others warm. Paraphrased. To keep others warm. Original. Not responsible. Paraphrased. You are not responsible for. Original. Making others comfortable at own expense. Paraphrased. Making others comfortable at your own expense. Original. Allowed saying no even to people who raised you. Paraphrased. You are allowed to say no, even to the people who raised you. Original. Raise her with spine and heart. Paraphrased. I will raise her with a spine and a heart. Original. Compassion but not compliance. Paraphrased. With compassion, but not with blind compliance. Original. Warmth but not servitude. Paraphrased. With warmth, but not with servitude. Original. If one legacy I want leaving her, it's this. Paraphrased. If there is one legacy I want to leave her, it is this. Original. Never be afraid choosing yourself. Paraphrased. Never be afraid to choose yourself. Original. Even if means standing alone. Paraphrased. Even if it means standing alone. Original. Used to think walking away made me villain. Paraphrased. I used to believe that walking away made me the villain. Original. They'd spin stories about abandoning them. Paraphrased. I thought they would tell stories about me abandoning them. Original. Maybe they have. Paraphrased. Maybe they have. Original. Let them. Paraphrased. But I'm going to let them. Original. Because if choosing peace, protecting child, breaking generational patterns makes me villain in their story, then maybe I was never meant being a hero. Paraphrased. Because if choosing my own peace, protecting my child, and breaking generational patterns makes me the villain in their story, then maybe I was never meant to be the hero in the first place.